Om Sahanavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. May Brahman protect us. May it nourish us. May we work in harmony with great vigor. May our study be illuminating. May we not cherish ill feeling towards each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the scripture class. And today I am in Winnipeg. So here in a devoted house, you can see that the Christmas lights, Christmas tree arranged here, and I am with you all in Toronto. And today's scripture is Vivekachudamani, and we are almost towards the end of Vivekachudamani. Maybe we'll have one more class if possible to conclude the thing. But today we are doing towards the almost end. Few words remaining. So it's a great day from this very cold and white Winnipeg, very crisp, and devoted people are gathered here in this house. So they're doing songs and kirtan downstairs in the shrine. I'm sitting upstairs in their living room. It's very nice with the all feeling of the Christmas coming celebration and the devotion. People are engaged all in songs and devotion. Just we finished Khandana, our regular Arati songs and prayers, and then I am here to meet you. So, verse number 576, it says, the beautiful, it says, Iti Shrutva Gurur Vakyam Prasraena Kritanati Satyena Samanugyato Yayo Nirmukta Vandhana. We described this one last time, that teacher said, and it is said, Iti Shrutva Gurur Vakyam. Having heard the teacher's words, that you are already freed from ignorance because of your spiritual practice, because of your self-control, because of your sravana, manana, nididhyasana, you have realized the truth. And then after hearing all that and understanding the truth, prasraena kritanati, the student then kritanati, he prostrated before him by with reverence, prastrayena, with reverence. Prastraya often used in, particularly in some of our languages, it is used as the indulgence, but here it means prastraya means reverence with all love and faith and all feeling of goodness. The student prostrates before the guru, and then what happens? Satena samanugyato yayo nirmukta bandhana. After having this knowledge of Brahman, knowing that I am not this body, I am the self, having known that, he immediately becomes freed from all bondages. That's why bandhana, from bondage, nirmukta, becoming totally freed from bondage of ignorance. This is the ignorance which binds us and gives us trouble. And when knowledge dawns, and then all our troubles are gone, all our difficulties are removed, all our dualities are gone. So that's why it is nirmukta, having become totally freed, having completely freed. Mukta, nirmukta, nisheshena mukta, satena samanugyato. So after that, after having the knowledge by himself, the doing the pranam, with the permission of the guru, some anugyato, the guru said, now you can go home, you can go to your place, you can go whatever you like. Then the student, he went away. The students, with the permission of the teacher, the teaching was complete. You have received whatever I wanted to give you. You have become freed from the bondage of ignorance. You have become totally free from all sorts of the wrong ideas, and you know who you are now. You are the knower of Brahman. So, having known thus, the student goes away from the place. Yeah, yo, he leaves. The student's thing is done. Convocation is complete. That's what the teacher says. A teacher is very happy, and students also very happy. This was verse 576. Now, verse 577. Now, how was the Guru? Now, it's concluding verses. Shankara is saying, Gurureva Sadananda Sindhau Nirmagna Manasa. How is Guru? Guru is Guru is a Sadananda Sindhau Nirmagna Manasa. Guru is always immersed, Nirmagna, always immersed in Sindhu. In what type of Sindhu he is immersed? In Sadananda Sindhu, in Sat and Ananda, in the ocean of existence and bliss. That Guru, whose mind is always immersed in that bliss, that Guru Reva Pavayan Sudham Sarvam Vichachara Nirantara. And the Guru, with his mind steeped, immersed in the ocean of existence and bliss absolute, roamed verily, purifying the whole world. All differentiating ideas vanished from his mind. Guru and students also, Guru and the Guru with his mind. Now the Guru has done his work here. Now his work done in this class with the group of students. Now he is roaming, mind filled in bliss. There is nothing else remained, freed from all bondage of ignorance, freed from all desires, and immersed in the existence and absolute bliss, roamed verily. And when such person roams in this world, it is purifying. Where does he purify? Purifies Pavayan Sarvam, Pavayan Sudham Sarvan. Means all everywhere. The whole world is purified by one such knower of Brahman. Vichachara means he started roaming. He's roaming and Nirantara, always Nirantara, without differentiating, without, and vanished from all differentiating ideas, vanished from his mind. So he is now established in Advaita, in the knowledge of one individual self, knowing the whole universe to his own self. The teacher is now roaming all around the world, roaming, purifying the whole world. And when he will find the next eager student, he will start teaching them the knowledge of truth. That's what Shankara beautifully made this Vivekachudamani into a scripture where the importance of the knowledge of the truth is said, how one should discern from anatma, what we think about the atma. There's so much emphasis on anatma, as this body is not atma, the senses are not atma, pranas are not atma. All this he tried to explain those things, and then from there he brought the students to knowledge of the real self. And after doing that, he said, yeah, yo, the student went away uh, to his home or to his grihastha ashram, to ashram. He's now a man of knowledge. Whatever he wants, he can do. And students also, now having accomplished the work of giving, enlightening other. From one candle, he has lighted another candle. So from his own enlightenment, he has enlightened other soul. From that, and then he also lives to making this whole world, blessed by his own knowledge of self. So that's what it's beautiful verse Shankaracharya is concluding slowly. Now teacher's role is done, students is illumined teacher is now roaming all around the world. All ideas of duality banished from his mind. That's what the verse says. Mm, which is that verse said nirantara, mm, vichachara nirantara pavayan vasudham sarvam vasudham pavayan, purifying the whole world, whole universe. Vichachara, he started roaming and banished with all ideas of duality, differentiation, vanished from his mind. The teacher is roaming. Let's see the next verse. Beautiful verse 578. Ityacharyasya shishyasya samvad संवादेनात्मलक्षणं nirupitam mumukshunam sukhabodha papattaye. Thus, by a way of a dialogue between the teacher and the disciple, has the nature of Atman been ascertained for the easy comprehension of seekers after liberation? Those who are seeking liberation, for them, the easily comprehending knowledge, how to attain that knowledge of the self, has been told in the form of a dialogue between the teacher and the student. It is said, Iti acharyasya shishyasya samvadena atma lakshanam. What was the samvada about? What was the conversation about between the acharya and the shishya, between the teacher and the student? It says, now we conclude iti. Thus, the dialogue or conversation between teacher and student is done about the atma lakshana, samvadena atma lakshanam, the dialogue about the Atman, knowledge of Atman, whatever Atman, Nirupitam Mumukshunam, and Nirupana means ascertain, and for whom it is ascertained? For Mumukshu, those who seek liberation or cause are called Mumukshu. In the first verse itself, that one of the three blessed things that happens by the grace of God, Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samsraya. So this is the Mumukshuttam, that here it Mumukshu. One has to have the wish to get freedom from the bondage of ignorance. Then only there is Guru comes, or then only when such Guru gives instruction we understand. Otherwise, we neither comprehend nor we understand. Guru may something, but if we do not have real hankering, wish, yearning for liberation, if we are not mumukshus, then it will not happen. To such mumukshus, now this um, Atma Lakshanam Nirupitam, it is now ascertained. And how it is ascertained? Sukha Bodha Papattaye, Sukha Bodho Papattaye, by very easy comprehension. By very easily it is explained. Shankara himself says that it is very made easy. The very sadhana is made easy by this. So and then this Vivekachudamani is for the sadhakas, for the mumukshus, and for the truth of the reality is comprehended very easily. It's not terse and difficult like understanding the Upanishads. It has been made easy to for the mumukshus to understand, and Atman is ascertained. Atmana nirupitam, for the mumukshus. It is meant for the seekers of truth, for those who want to go beyond ignorance, who want to be freed from the bondage of suffering because born of ignorance. Suffering, the ignorance of what? Ignorance of our own self. By how this ignorance happens, as the Shastra says, that we become ignorant because of because deviating from the truth. Um, Avidya, the by ignorance. First, the ignorance comes, asmita, and when the ignorance comes, the ego comes, I-ness comes. When there was no ego, the person was whole. It was one with Brahman, it was Brahman. As soon as ignorance came, forgot the real self, then first thing that came was ego. Ego means separation from the wholeness, separation from the Brahman, idea of individuality, a concept of duality. All that came because of ignorance. And now somehow that inkling comes. When this ignorance has come about the self, about who am I, that's gone. I am the individual and I see the whole universe. I'm not with that. I don't identify with the universe. I don't identify with the Brahman. I identify with myself alone. And then comes the idea of avidya, raga and dvesha. Then you like something and dislike something. All this comes with the ignorance. Then this came. All this ignorance is a bondage, and also is individuality is bondage, ego is a bondage. ego creates more and more bondage in the form of liking and disliking, in the form of friend and foe, in the form of right and wrong. Like that thing, it creates all dualities. And this is raga dvesha. And one more difficulty comes raga dvesha jiji visha, trying to ahimsa avidyasmita raga dvesha, and then want to live longer, clinging to life, this individual life, which is very unknown thing. It's very ignorantly we are saying that we live this month and after that we die. That type of thing comes of because of ignorance. So that is what it is said. Here also it is, for those who want to go beyond this ignorance, having understood that considering ourselves as the psychophysical being, as the human body with with mind and senses, that is not our real identity. Our real identity is the Atman, that one without a second, ever blissful, ever present, that self. When we know through the Shastras, then we want to realize our truth, where there is a freedom from all suffering. And that wanting is helped by this treatise like Vivekachudamani, because in the form of conversation, it is said, whenever there is something written on the conversation, question answer, it becomes very interesting. Even the Upanishads were written, many Upanishads are written in that way. Student asks and teacher replies, conversation style, like Kathopanishad. So that becomes very interesting. Even we read the conversation like talks with Vivekananda. How beautiful it becomes, like Swami Eternal Companion. There are so many conversations. Student asks, Swami Brahmananda replies. This Vivekachudamani also in the form of dialogue between student and teacher, conversation between student and teacher. It makes it very interesting and easily comprehensible, and one can get freedom from ignorance by deeply going to the teaching of Viveka Chudamani and trying to follow what his instruction is, trying to always discern what is true self and what is mistaken self, then trying not to cling to the mistaken self, which is body, and trying to anatma, and trying to identify oneself with the true self. Now, let's go to the next verse. हितमिदमुपदेशं माद्रियन्तां विहित निरस्तसमस्तचित्तदोषा भवसुखविरता प्रशान्तचित्ताः श्रुतिरसिका यतयो मुमुक्षवो ये. So, may the sannyasins who are seekers after liberation, that is what it is said, mumukshavo yatayo mumukshavo ye. So, for the yati means for the yatis and mumukshus. Who are yatis? Those who struggle for existence. Mumukshu, who hanker for existence, who are really yearning develop for existence. For them, this is being said. May, and this is like the blessing for those category of people who really striving to realize the true self. May those sannyasins, also maybe many, anyone who strives to attain liberation is a yati. Yati in that way. All sannyasins are yati, and anyone who struggles to realize is called yati. Who are seekers after liberation, that is mumukshu, who have purged themselves of all the tense of the mind, that is vihita nirasta samasta chitta dosha. They were hankering, and also one more quality they have, nirasta samasta chitta dosha. All taints, weak taints and impurities of the heart, chitta, is all nirasta. All has been removed. Unless you remove the impurities of the heart, real hankering for realizing the truth, realizing the self doesn't come. So this, may all those who are hankering for the truth and who have been free, whose mind has been freed from all tents and impurities, bhavasukha bhavasukha virata prashanta chitta. um, and how did it happen? By observation of the prescribed method, that is vihita. this prescribed method, uh, who are over averse to worldly pleasures. So that is what it is said. Bhava sukha virataha. They are virata. They are they have relinquished all worldly enjoyments. Why did they relinquish the worldly enjoyment? Why they are not with the worldly enjoyment? Because they have found greater enjoyment, greater joy in the self, and the worldly enjoyment is not really satisfying to them anymore. They have understood where the source of real joy is, and that joy which is eternal. So those people who have become bhava sukha virataha, the worldly enjoyment doesn't anymore attract them. May all those people who are struggling for existence, who have themselves all become freed from all tents, that's uh, that's what nirasta samasta chitta dosa bhava sukha virata. They are not attracted by the joy enjoyment of the world, and though they have become freed from the worldly happiness. They don't seek happiness in the world at all. For those people, this is self by observance of the prescribed who are averse to worldly pleasures and who are who are of serene minds, prashanta chitta. So many adjectives are being said about the person who is really fit to have the knowledge of the self. Prashanta chitta. Prashanta, shanta, chitta is the mind. So shanta is you have mind calm. You sometimes it disturbs, but prashanta means it is now so much trained to remain peaceful. It is seldom disturbed or not disturbed at all by the worldly things. Not only it doesn't seek happiness in the world. When we get disturbed, because when we seek something in the world and we don't get that, then we really become disturbed. I want person to behave in this way, that person doesn't behave something different, I become upset with that person. I want something, this type of food to be given to me, I don't get that, then we become disturbed. I think I should achieve this, I don't achieve, then I become disturbed. All this, the wants in the world uh, disturb. When we are after bhava sukha, then it is disturbed. When we are bhava sukha virata, then no disturbance comes, and we are prashanta chitta. And this we are of serene minds, peaceful minds that those are peaceful in all situations. Nothing of the worldly thing can disturb the mind, because you don't seek anything worldly. Neither you seek pleasure, no pain, no honor, no dishonor. You become equal. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. That type of idea comes when we don't seek anything from the world, when we become bhava sukha virata. I know how much the world can give. The thing world gives is not worth trying to have. So that type of person, prasanta chitta, still some qualities are being said of this person who is fit to have the knowledge of Brahman, to remain in the bliss of the knowledge of Brahman, to become one with Satchit Ananda. To that person, some other qualities. And such person take a delight in the Shruti. So, delight in the Shruti, Shruti Rasika. Rasika is the word rasa, that delight. Rasa is often is said about the taste, but rasa is also amrita. But real rasa is the delightfulness, is called rasa. So, where do they find delight? They find delight in Shruti, all the knowledge that is given in the scriptures, in the Vedas. So, they are the enjoyer of the message of the Shruti, of the Upanishads. Upanishads become very interesting to them. Like people in the world love novel, reading novel or stories or serial in the television. For these seekers, what is rasa? Rasa is Shruti. They find joy in reading Vedanta, in reading Upanishads, in reading the Gita, Bhagavatam. All this become very, very enjoyable for them, very delightful for them. So these people are not only pure in mind, not only bereft of the desire for worldly enjoyments, and not only purified from all the impurities of the heart, And but they're also Shruti Rasika. They delight in the knowledge of the scriptures. Yatayo mumukshuvo. Uh, Appreciate this salutary teaching. May they appreciate that. May this teaching be helpful for them. Hitamidam, hitamidam upadesham adriyantam. May this become respectful, appreciate adriyantam. So this should be respected adriyantam, and that's this teaching be appreciated by those people, and they try to make the teachings of Vivekachudamani reflected and practical in their life. So this is the second last verse of the Vivekachudamani. I will like to conclude here. It is a little short. I think it's just half an hour or so. Yes, it is half an hour, and because there are some program going on, so we will next time, next our Vivek Chudamani class, we will conclude the Viveka Chudamani and with some summary and the one more verse remaining, last verse. So here the blessing of Viveka Chudamani to all seekers of truth, that may all they appreciate this wonderful treatise, they become freed from the impurities, they become averse to the worldly enjoyments, and having been very peaceful and serene mind, and finding joy in the scriptural teachings. They find joy, the Shruti Rasika. So they become delighted in the spiritual this thing. May they understand and appreciate Upadesham, Hitamidam Upadesham, Adriyantam. May they become appreciative of this, and by becoming appreciative, they will try to make the truths of Viveka Chudamani practical in their life, try to purify their mind, try to be desist from desiring the things of the world, will enjoy in the name of that, as what it says, Shruti Rasika. If you stretch it, the Shruti Rasika is like enjoying delight, taking delight in the name of God, in the scripture of mankind, in the service of God in human beings, Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. All these start giving you delightfulness. All that gives you joy. That is the sign of purity of heart, and the Vairagya. What is said here, Bhava Sukha Virata, that is the Vairagya. You don't want the worldly things, you want only spiritual things. That is called Vairagya. Vairagya is the step towards greater blissfulness, greater joy. It is not something you miss. Rather, you get something that those who are always Bhavasukha Nirata, who are always engaged in the worldly pursuits and enjoyment of the worldly things, they do not get that. So don't be Bhavasukha Nirata, but be Bhavasukha Virata. Don't try and to find joy in the worldly things. And when you have that Vairagya coming, then you can appreciate this, and you become Shruti Rasika. Where do you enjoy then? You enjoy in the study of scriptures, in the study of the Vedanta, Upanishads, Gita, Bhagavatam, lives of holy persons. In all the scriptures, you read Bible, you read Granth Sahib, you'll find joy in everything. You read Rama, Tulsidas Ramayana, so beautiful. Those who really are interested, have gone deeper into that, they find such a delight in reading and studying those Shruti Rasika. And also slowly, in the name of God, in the prayers that you do, in the japam of the mantra, every word, every mantra repeated becomes so joyful. Every word, suppose say Om Namo Narayanaya or Om Namah Shivaya. Every word, every mantra repeated will take you closer to God. So they will appreciate what has been taught in the Viveka Chudamani. May the Viveka Chudamani become blessing for the seekers of truth. Mumukshu, that's what the Viveka Chudamani, the second last verse, it says up to this. So I have to cut short today for now, and then next time we will conclude our subject of Vivekachudamani and announce what we are going to take after that class in place of Vivekachudamani. So thank you very much for being with me. Sorry for the curtailed class today of for half an hour. I'm going back to Toronto tomorrow, and we'll have Sunday service. I'll be there, and Sunday service in person, online also we will do. Please attend the Sunday service. Those who are attending always, and we'll meet for Vivekachudamani. We'll meet for scripture class, Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you very much, and good night to you all. And I conclude with the prayer, concluding prayer, closing chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishnarpanamastu Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnan Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmu. Thank you and good night to you all. Bye.